Hello, I'm Chuck Martin, and welcome to the Voices of the Internet of Things. With me today is Matthew Perry, founder of the Transportation Channel. Matthew has been a market maker on the American Stock Exchange, commodity options trader at First New York Securities, and partner at Kronenberg Capital Advisors. At the Transportation Channel, Matthew is focused on growing a new media company all about the world of transportation. Welcome, Matthew.
Thank you, Chuck. Great to be here.
So, why did you leave Wall Street to do this?
Yeah, people call me crazy. However, this is an idea that was born really in 2005. I started thinking about this idea. I was sitting having dinner with my wife at the time and looking at the television, and there was a 24-hour traffic channel that was being broadcast in Philadelphia at the time. And I turned to my wife and I said, "This needs to go national, sort of like the Weather Channel." And that's where the general idea was born. And then a couple of years ago, when I started thinking seriously about this, now that the technology is here with streaming, and I met my co-founder Bill Greco, we decided to forget about the traffic side of it and just concentrate solely on the transportation side of it, where we would produce and aggregate content in the area of transportation and distribute that out over streaming platforms and such. So I thought this idea was, to answer your question, was so compelling and that it really needs to be done. Sort of like the Weather Channel 50 years ago, there's no media focused solely on transportation. And as you know, it's most likely the second largest expense for everyday people in their lives. And there's not one media company focusing 24/7 on it. And that's what we intend to do.
So, what exactly is the Transportation Channel, and what would it look like?
Yeah, so currently we have a website, a video platform, where people can go to our platform and upload a video based on their transportation experience. This is the first phase of the transportation channel where we are aggregating other people's content onto one platform. So it's user-generated content. It's also professional content providers that are providing content to the transportation channel. Ultimately, we want to be a 24/7 news organization where we are providing our own content in the area of transportation, but we're also aggregating others and then distributing that out on multiple streaming platforms such as Roku, Amazon Fire, and such. So we want to be sort of like the Weather Channel slash YouTube slash Netflix for all things transportation, if you will.
So, do you have to get permission to use these other videos?
We do. Every provider of content, we sign a content deal with them. So we have a content deal with every provider that provides content to our platform. The user generated content that's coming onto our platform is much like YouTube, so we don't need to have a formal agreement with them. They just have to agree to our terms of service. That's visible on our platform.
How do you get someone to, what's the incentive for someone to send a video there?
Yeah, no, that's been pretty difficult. We launched the service in July of this year, and as of now, in September, we have a handful of user-generated content videos that people have organically uploaded to the platform. Most of the content that's on there now are from professional content providers that we have actual content agreements with. It's difficult. So we have an audio product that we're distributing on 600 radio stations nationally. We call it the Transportation Channel Minute, and this feature is a 1 minute feature that talks about transportation related issues. We're using it as a cross promotional tool to the Transportation Channel platform, and hopefully when people listen to it, the call to action is go to the Transportation Channel .com and upload a video. It hasn't really worked yet, but we're hopeful, and we're using other marketing tactics too to get people to come to the platform and share their videos and transportation related experiences. The other thing that we're going to do is potentially create contests, and that speaks to what you just asked, which is, why would someone come to the Transportation Channel and upload a video about transportation instead of just going to YouTube? Well, one of the reasons is that we're focused solely on transportation. So, you're coming to a channel that's focused solely on it's a niche platform. You're not going to find anything else other than transportation. on our platform. But we may start creating contests to try to get people to incentivize people to come to the channel.
So are you segmenting this? Because transportation is big, it's broad.
It's very broad, and initially we are segmenting into three broad categories: land, air, and sea. So when people come to the platform, they will see those three broad categories and either watch videos based on those categories or contribute videos based on those categories. The segmentation, as we grow, the segmentation will grow as well, because like you said, transportation is such a broad category, and there's so much going on in transportation that we certainly can see the segmentation getting even more and more specific as we grow. So for example, to the book that you wrote on flying vehicles, I think we can have a whole segment. We call them swim lanes. They're really categories. We could have a whole category or swim lane just based on flying vehicles, right? And have user-generated content as well as professionally produced content on that specific category. But we envision having, when we launch our streaming service, probably 40 to 50 different segments of transportation by the time we launch the full suite of services.
So is the channel going to be primarily video, or are you going to have stories or text as well?
Yeah, we're still talking about that, but I think now we're primarily a video platform. People respond to video very well. Video advertisers also pay more for video than traditional text. But if we're going to be all things to all people when it comes to transportation, we want to be a one-stop shop for people when they come to the transportation channel, to be able to get anything and everything they desire when it comes to transportation. So I think it would be important for us to take a serious look, not just at video, but at also written media as well. So there may be a place on the channel itself that would house newsletters and such.
So for content, like you've got on YouTube, you've got things like truck crashes on hitting bridges, and you can find hundreds of those. Are you going to do those kinds of videos as well?
Yeah, so we're not going to discriminate against we're not going to discriminate on video in particular like that. We want to be all things to all people when it comes to transportation. So I can see, having videos like that on the platform. I think there's a place for videos like that on the platform. We want to be not only educational and informative, but we aim to be entertaining. And those videos are extremely entertaining. We do have a content provider on the transportation channel now. The name is Just Planes. And what they do is they get into international cockpits of international airlines, and they film from one destination to the next.
The
And
airlines let them do that?
the international airlines do. They can't do it with domestic, but the international airlines let them do that, and their fans can't get enough of that content. So we're proud to have them. And my point in bringing that up is that there's going to be a place for all types of transportation related content on the platform, from everything from entertaining and informative to educational and more serious for we call them the wonky crowd, for the nerds, transportation nerds that really want to get into the weeds. We'll have content that's available to them as well.
So on your water or your sea portion, there are all these videos online on YouTube that you can find of boats crashing when they're trying to dock. And they get, I mean, millions and millions of views. How do you
Yeah.
persuade someone who's aggregated those, say, on YouTube, to move over to your platform?
Yeah, so we're when we reach out to potential content providers, we number one, that we are just another distribution outlet for them. So we're not necessarily, it's not like they have to take their content from YouTube, which has billions and billions of people watching, but we're just another content outlet for them. Also, we're able to take that content and distribute it out to other distribution partners. So we have a deal with MSN, with Yahoo, with USA Today, with Bloomberg, where we can distribute the content that's on our platform out as well. So that's a revenue model that content providers, it makes us more attractive to content providers because it's not just our platform, but it's also we're sharing those videos that are on our platform with some very mature content distributors or content outlets. So that helps in convincing content providers to come to the platform.
So you mentioned revenue models. What is the revenue model? Like, what's the business case for this or the business plan?
Yeah, so the revenue model, we're an ad-based revenue model. So we will monetize the videos on our platform through advertising and through sponsorships. And also when we distribute out our content to our other distribution partners, we are making money from potential sponsorships and programmatic advertising. And that's the basis for our revenue model through video content aggregation.
So who do you see as the audience for this? Why would somebody watch the transportation channel, for example?
Yeah, no, that's great. And, when we go in front of people and we talk about, who our audience is to potential investors and to others, when we're explaining the transportation channel, our demographics are sort of all over the place. So the user-generated model skews younger, right? Because Gen Z and the younger generations are the first generation that prefers user-generated content to any other form of content, movies, whatever. This is the first generation that prefers to watch content via user-generated content. So we're spending a lot of time and money on developing that part of our business, and that's available now to people. They can go to the transportationchannel.com and upload a video directly to our platform. So that part of our business, that demographic is 18 to 34, and that's going to attract the younger set. The news content that we're developing ourselves skews a little bit older, and it's 25 to 54. And the content that we're aggregating from content providers is sort of all over the map. So it's really 18 to 34, and then even older than that.
So this whole market, I mean, that's a big market. It sounds like for advertising, are you going to need really big numbers?
Well, you need big numbers for any for advertisers to become interested in your product, right? So we really, when advertisers advertise on our platform, they're obviously going to want to know the demographics of the people that are watching, but also how many people are watching on a daily basis, and then not only how many people are watching, but how long are they remaining on the platform, right? When they come to the platform, how long are they engaged when they're there? And this is really we're in the beta phase now, and we're testing out a lot of things to see how interactive we can be with our content to keep people on the platform, keep them interested, and keep them coming back. So we don't have all the content obviously that we want on the platform now, but we're building that, and we're getting there.
So do you see the potential that someone is relatively someone posting content on YouTube, it's a crapshoot. They hope that someone views it. Do you see a potential of you actually creating stars, like video stars, someone who does a lot of posting on the channel and they become well known through the channel?
Oh, I think so for sure. As we build our audience, Chuck, I think that people will come to the transportation channel to view transportation related videos because they're fans of transportation. They're looking for specific content that they can find on the transportation channel. And eventually, content providers will start providing things on the transportation channel first before YouTube and before Instagram. So yeah, I do believe that eventually we can create video stars from content that's created for our platform for sure.
Yeah, it's almost like the gaming industry.
Yeah,
In the
exactly.
early days, you become a creator star.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I could certainly see that happening, and we hope that that happens, and that we're confident that that will happen to some of the people that provide content to the platform. We certainly want to be entertaining first, educational and informative, but we want people to enjoy the platform and not only consume the media that's there, but contribute to the media that's there as well and become part of our community.
So what do you see as your biggest challenges short term
Biggest challenges is getting because we're relatively unknown, is getting people
until this?
comfortable. Yeah, until this, right? Is getting people comfortable coming to the platform and uploading video, right? It was even tough for me to convince my children, and they're grown, to come to the platform and start contributing video. That's one of the biggest challenges. The other challenge is getting professional content providers to trust the transportation channel and provide content to the transportation channel and know that we're a very responsible aggregator of content. So that's why we're very happy to have two very professional content providers, and Paul Comfort, who we call him the Anthony Bourdain of transit, and Michelle Moscow of Just Planes, providing content to the platform, because those are two very well-established content providers, and they're putting their stamp of approval on the transportation channel. So that should encourage others to come to the channel and provide content to us as well. So those two are will be the main drivers of our success, our content providers, whether they're amateur or professional in nature. And those happen to be our two biggest challenges of getting amateur and professional content onto the platform.
So a year from now, we're having this conversation about the channel. What will we be talking about?
We're going to be talking about the fact that we have launched our streaming service on all the major streaming services out there. We will be talking about that the transportation channel is the go-to destination for transportation nerds and enthusiasts and professionals to gain information about the transportation industry, whether it's entertainment in nature or whether it's wonkiness in nature, professional in nature. But that's what we'll be talking about a year from now, that we have become the go-to destination for transportation related content, whether you're providing that content to us or you're consuming that content on our transportation channel platform.
Well, I look forward to that conversation. Thank you, Matthew Perry, and thank you all for listening to the Voices of the Internet of Things. I'm Chuck Martin.
Thank you, Chuck.